Hello, I'm Mark. This talk is about starting a movement practice. My son, he's a membership at a gym, and we talk once a week, and he was saying how he hasn't been going to the gym, but he's paying for the membership, and he's thinking about stopping, and so I suggested maybe he learn a Qigong set. And if you're interested in Qigong, I have movement bites on my channel, which are 10 minutes or less, and they're different Qigong moves or different moves that I've learned that can just help our body with vitality, nourish movement. And no judgment on my son. I've had a membership at a gym in the past before, more than once, and find myself just paying dues and not going to it. So it is a thing that happens in life. But we were meant to move. And so this talk is an invitation to movement. And if you're listening, just stand up and twist your arms like this, and I'm inviting you to move right now. The first thing I would like to help people consider is that you already have a movement practice. You don't need to join a gym or start a thing. Just notice you already have a movement practice. If you're a human being, you have a movement practice, unless you're bedbound, and even then you have a movement practice. You can move your tongue around, your eyes around. We were meant to move. So that's my first point, to realize you already have a movement practice. You get up out of bed, you move yourself to brush your teeth or to eat. You move yourself in and out of the bathroom, in and out of the shower, in and out of the bath, in and out of your house, maybe in and out of a vehicle, in and out at work. All these things are movement. And so I invite you to reframe movement. And one of the things that helps with that is one of these watches where they keep track of your steps. I'm not promoting that, but having, because they'll tell you, I can leave my house or spend a day not leaving my house and rack up 3,000 or 4,000 steps inside the house, and it keeps track. And I might think at the end of the day, I didn't get out and walk, but I did walk inside my house. And so everything we do towards movement helps us. And so on my channel, I invite people to move with me. And the second thing is, when you consider a movement practice, is what might it look like? And I submit it could look like learning a set of Qigong movements and then growing into those movements over time to a point where you've increased your vitality and your relationship to your own internal self, and then you feel like you want to get a teacher and take it further. And that would be a blessing for every human being, is to be excellent at moving and to have a teacher to help them advance to an even deeper, more subtle layer. But at first, there's just beginning things. And so in my channel, I want to cover beginning things. And the reason is that I'm a beginner. I've been at Qigong for 5 years. I have an airplane going over. Let's let it pass. Anyway, this is a twisting move, a Qigong twisting move. In this move, I turn from this part of my body and try to minimize the torque on the knees. And I'm just kind of have dead arms as I twist around. So the first thing, notice you already have a movement practice. And then what we can do is refine it more and more. Set aside little times, like 10 minutes, and follow along with one of my movement bite practices, and engage in simple movements that don't create an injury. So when you do start a movement practice, a lot of people, myself included, wind up getting an injury because we weren't prepared to do that movement, or it was too much, it stretched too far, it was too heavy, it caused, a flare-up of your condition. All kinds of things go wrong when we start moving, when we haven't been in the habit of moving, or we don't know where our edges are. If I go this far, that's great. If I go a little farther, I'm going to create an injury. These things are unknown to us when we aren't paying a lot of attention to our movement practice. And so part of a movement practice is noticing inside yourself, growing in proprioception, where you are in space and time, and interoception, where the internal part of yourself, your mind-body connection. And so I encourage people, especially if you have some chronic conditions, is to have a Qigong movement practice, because it's gentle on your body. It tends to be accessible. Even if you can't do all the exercises, there's often modifications. And the goal is to do it at 70%. We don't ever really want to go past 70%. And that way you minimize the injuries and maximize your access to vitality. Because I've followed along with YouTube videos, trying to be responsible, and at the same time creating an injury. I injured my shoulder. It took a couple of years to recover from that. I've injured other parts of myself just trying to follow along with videos. And I went to the gym, and those machines seemed to increase my pain sensation, creating flare-ups in my own condition. And it made the gym seem dangerous, and I didn't feel like going back to the gym. So I invite you to have a movement practice that blesses you, and one that you can ease into. And Qigong is a great way to have a movement practice. An even simpler one is just to get out and walk in nature. I try to get out and walk all weekdays. My goal is to be out of the house before 9 a.m. in order to just be walking. And that is a policy that really works for me. And so when I fit into that groove, it really serves me, because 5 days a week I know that I'm just going to be moving my body at least for one walk that day. And on Mondays, I'm out with my friends, and then we walk in nature and walk and talk. And on Tuesday through Friday, I walk to the senior center, and I walk through a local park. And then I get to hang out with some friends at the senior center, and then have a second walk on my walk home, walk back through the park. And I pause and do a standing meditation for 10 breaths. Qigong has many different kinds of standing meditations. And so I mix them up. I mix up Qigong along with walking. In fact, there's walking Qigong. Qigong comes in many forms. There can be lying down Qigong, moving Qigong, like this one right here, walking Qigong, other, slow twisting movements that twist and pull. Qigong itself as a term was coined in the 1950s, but it was based on East Asian movement arts, and before that it was called Dao Yin, and that is a just transliteration of Chinese terms that I think is interpreted pulling and twisting and stretching. And so Qigong is a way of integrating all of the tissues in our body and taking your mind and putting your mind into your body. One of the real many benefits to someone who's struggling with chronic pain is it can help get your mind into your body, and it can help get your sense of you into your body. And you might say, hey Mark, that seems weird, because am I already in my body? Well, in my own life experience, I find that I'm often not in my body. I'm thinking about something else. I'm thinking about the future, maybe I'm worried about this happening or that, or I'm anticipating, or I'm in a hypervigilant mode where I'm just looking for danger. Well, in those spaces, my sense of my relationship to my body is not in my body. And what doing a Qigong practice, even for 10 minutes a day, is an invitation to get your mind more into your body. And wonderful things happen as you involve yourself in the process of blending your mind into your body. What led me to Qigong is a decades-long wrestling match with chronic pain and seeking a cure, seeking something to get out of this, to get rid of this, to resolve this, to get better, to heal. And I've tried everything that I could think of and spent all my resources in the process. And I still have chronic pain. But I also have Qigong. And Qigong really helps me, and walking, those two movement practices, Qigong and walking, help my mental health, my emotional health, and my physical health. And it seems to work on all three of those things, which is a real blessing. And there's some really interesting hidden things about Qigong. For example, there's a book out there called Your Body Keeps Score, and where this, I think he might be a doctor or a researcher, and he talks about how our body stores traumas. And there are other studies and experts in the field of mind-body who would agree that when we go through traumas, they'll be stored here or there, maybe literally by a scar tissue, or just in this area of our body, whatever area, all over the body. Different traumas hide in different places, and I'm not an expert in it. But what happens is, see this twisting? If I do have a trauma trapped in here, which I probably have, a few dozen traumas, but I'm just inviting them to all these tissues to twist around. And the more our mind becomes saturated in the shape of our body, you can have a deeper interoception. Like, where's my elbow? And how is my femur bone twisting? Or how much weight am I shifting? Oh, 70, I'm 70-30. Oh, I'm 100% on this leg. What's my tailbone doing? And so you start exploring your internal landscape. And at first, it might be very difficult. One of the reasons is, I would say, if I think of this term, I'll speak it out. Sensitization, central sensitization, something like that. And if you struggle with chronic pain, and you've had chronic pain for years, what happens is your mind becomes really good at seeking out pain sensations in your body, and it can, to such a degree, it gets so good at seeking out pain sensations, it can seek out tiny little pain sensations that are new. It'll go back to the old ones that keep going, and over time this kind of squishes out of your internal perception all the good things, all the vitality. And the vitality can sort of get squeezed or collapsed, and what's left is a mind that loves to pay attention to pain signals. And this can be a very, very unpleasant experience, as I will testify. One of the main way that research doctors have determined to help invite our body, our mind, heart, body, to move back towards vitality, towards wholeness, towards balance. What it focuses on is a mind-body movement practice. And Eastern arts, all involve mind-body. You think of like martial arts or some Chinese arts like Bagua or Xingyi or Tai Chi Chuan involve these Qigong type moves. And so Qigong is a movement practice that can go very deep, and if you have a teacher, you can go as deep as you want. But I'm playing with the basics, the beginning parts. And the reason why is because I am trying to reverse this central sensitization. I'm trying to help my brain, my awareness, to notice all the places in my body that have vitality. Because even though I have chronic pain and it is disabling, I'm permanently disabled, I can also stand here and do this even though I am currently in pain. So if I stop and just think about my pain, I just go to this place that is being loaded up with pain. And if I fixate on that, I'll start feeling sorry for myself. I'll start getting sentimental. Oh, I can't do this or that. But look, I can do these things. And by shifting our attention from feeling sorry for ourselves to where else can I find vitality? What's going on with my left foot? What's going on with my right foot? How is my spine twisting? I'm just exploring this one move. And I could set a timer for 5 minutes while my coffee is steeping in the French press. Timer goes off and I've done 5 minutes of movement exploration. And these types of moves surprisingly benefit all areas of my life. I am able to get in and out of the car easier because of my Qigong practice. And it winds up being about 10 minutes a day. I would like it to be more and more frequently, but that is my threshold currently. That's why my movement bites are 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, if I go 15 minutes, I might create an injury. So 10 minutes at a time. And maybe I can do 10 minutes in the morning, sometimes morning, evening. On a rare time, I can do morning, noon, and evening. 3 different kinds of short Qigong practices. Anyway, I appreciate you listening to me. I appreciate you moving along if you've given it a try. This can be very calming. Yeah, that's the last thing I want to say about a movement practice. Number 1, you already have a movement practice. Number 2, it can help change your state, increase your interoception to the degree where you become more connected to the vitality that lives in your life, and all the movements nourish it through a process of biotensegrity, connecting your internal landscape with your own consciousness little by little over time, and creating thresholds where you could have a healing cascade. And other people have testified that that is a thing. So I invite you to have fun, play along, and write in the comments about your movement practice or what you'd like your movement practice to be like. And I thank you for listening.